On today's show, what I'd like to do is show you guys a product that I've been designing. This will be for sale on eBay and Etsy and a couple other sites that I sell my products on. This is a very simple product. It's actually this orange section right here. So let me just really quickly tell you what led to this idea and the construction of this product. First of all, I think all of us have seen those Brita style or pure water filter style pitcher filters that we can set on our counter. We fill the top bin full of water. Has a little filter in there that gravity pushes the water through and fills the lower bin, and we can access that lower bin's water through a spout on the side of the container. So one of the problems that I saw with those pitcher filters was their actual size. Typically they're pretty small. You're always going over to the faucet and refilling the top to get water in there. It's kind of a pain in the rear end. So what I've designed here is a way to filter an entire either 2.5 gallon water bottle or 5 gallon water bottles worth of that water through the exact same Brita or pure style pitcher filters that you get for those countertop filter systems. So running into that little bit of a flaw with those pitcher filters led me to design this product right here. Now the blue that you see up at the top and the blue that you see at the bottom are only to represent the 5 gallon Culligan water bottles. The actual product is the orange section here in the middle. Let's go ahead and remove the top water bottle and the bottom water bottle from the item itself. We'll zoom in on the item. Let's go ahead and make it clear so you can see inside of it, and there you go. So the green right here represents that Brita or pure style water filter that we're talking about. It slides down into the device right to there. That allows your 5 gallon Culligan bottle up at the top to sit in there and have a bit of an air gap so that the water pressure can build from the bottle all the way through the filter. Down here at the bottom we have the inset for the bottom water bottle to sit up into, and you notice there's a little bit of an interior lip right here. This will actually sit down inside of the opening of the lower bottle. That way none of the water can spill out and over the edge of the bottle. It'll all have to come down through the center opening and into the bottle. Real quickly here, we'll go ahead and just move that off of the filter so you can see it. There you go. You can see that lower lip. You can see the upper lip here where the belt and the O-ring on the filter will actually sit up against. Very, very simple to design. Very simple to use. Now that I've showed you the device, talked to you about what it does, let's talk about how we can make this a better product. First of all, this original design has a couple flaws in it when it comes to manufacturing. The first big flaw is this right here, this big giant area between the interior hole where all the water is going to go through and the outside wall itself. With FDM plastic or 3D printer plastic, you're going to need to fill this entire gap. Now you could go 10% infill or 15% infill or on and on and on and minimize the amount of infill in this area, but it's still going to take a lot of material. I went over to the slicer and checked it out, and it looks like even with like a 15% infill and 5 outside perimeter walls, this design is going to take 1.1 kilograms worth of material, so a little bit more than an entire spool if we build it as one solid unit like this. So what we've done to try to make it a better product is this right here. Let me go ahead and grab this over from the side of the screen. So what we have here is basically the exact same thing. I'm going to zoom in on it. The only difference is, let's go ahead and make it clear so you can see that. You can see the interior is exactly the same. It's got all the same functionality to it, all the same rings and areas for everything to sit into and water drip lips and all of that. The only difference is I've removed a huge portion of the material here on the outside without actually creating any overhangs that are steep enough that we have to refill that area with support material. And that's a big deal because you can design it to be narrow like this or look like an apple core, and it still might need, because of the overhang up here at the top edge, it might need this to be all filled with support material, which has basically not gotten rid of any of the material whatsoever. This hourglass design is definitely going to produce a much cleaner product. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way so you can see it. It's going to be plenty strong enough. It also fans out to the same width that we had before so that the stability of the item and the ability to support the water bottles is still going to be there. With the amount of material that we're going to save, we should be able to get 2 of these per roll of material versus only 1 per roll of material, which has obviously increased our profits quite a bit. Now you'll need to refine the product, and you can use things like Fusion 360 and other programs like that to help refine that product down. It'll help chamfer some of the edges and do some other things to it that'll help reduce the amount of material and increase the strength of your item. Let's go ahead and get this over to a flash card. We'll send this over to the Qidi X-Max. Alright guys, our product is done printing in the Qidi X-Max 3. You can see it back there in the background inside of the machine. You can also see just how tall that item is. I've got two 5-gallon water bottles ready to go. I've got a pure water filter that we're going to slide down inside of our product. And one of the issues here that we have in the Midwest is the color of our water right here. This is hard water. It smells a little bit of sulfur, probably agricultural. Really big issue where I live here in the Midwest. Everybody basically has to filter their water if they're going to want to drink it, and a lot of us want to filter it multiple times. So I have a filter that it runs through between the well and the house, and then I filter it again at the sink, and then I filter it again through a pitcher filter just to make sure that the water's safe for my family to drink. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do a real world test of our brand new product. We're going to go ahead and install the product on top of this empty bottle. We'll put that pure filter down into place. We're going to filter out this 2.5 gallons of cloudy hard water through that filter and see just how well it does to make sure there's no leak by or anything that we might have missed in the creation process. So let's go ahead and grab our item out of the cheaty. Okay, let's take a look at it. So you can see down through there. Alright, it looks great. You can see the concave design up here at the top. You can see our apple core design going around. You can see how nice that turned out. No supports needed. There's no bad edges up at the top, so our product looks really good. Let's go ahead now and give this thing a real world test. So we're going to set it down here, and let me get the camera on a tripod so I can do this all with two hands, and let's see how well it works. We're at the next stage of our development process for a product, and that is testing the product out to make sure it works. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to install that pure water filter down into the device. We're going to go ahead and throw that jug on top and see how well it works. First of all, let's go ahead and grab the device and the filter. Bring that up to the camera for you so you can see in there. Let's go ahead and install the filter down in there. And this is probably going to be pretty tight. Okay, give me just a second, make sure I got it all the way down in there. Okay, it feels like it is. But you definitely can't see into it, but you can tell that the hole is all blocked off by the filter. Now, so far what I found is that if I start out by putting it on the jug that's full, it seems to work a little better to put it on top of the other jug that way, but for this demonstration, we're going to go ahead and just set that on top of the empty jug. And let's go ahead and lift up the full jug here, and we're going to set it right into the top. Hopefully without making a huge mess like I just did. This will definitely allow me to filter a lot more water now than I was able to do before with the standard pitcher filter. I don't have to put as much time and energy into it all, since I don't have to go over to the sink and constantly refill the upper bin. Let me grab the camera, bring it up close so I can show you how well the filtering systems work. Alright, so let's go up here to the bottom. Now, a little difficult to see through all the drops on the outside of the wall, but down here in the bottom you can see the splashes being made by the drips that are coming through. And if we look at the top tank, you can see the air bubbles that are coming up through there, definitely indicating that we're letting water down through our filter. So there you guys go. This is a working product. And I'll tell you what, I don't see any leaks across the top. Looks like the interior drip lip is working just fine. It seems to hold the weight and the mass of the item just fine. It also seems to be well balanced. And if we look down in here, look how much clearer that water is than it was when it went in. Now the product itself that I sell is a little bit different than this, but this was the actual real working prototype that I designed 2 years ago that led to the product that I sell worldwide. And at this point I think we're up to just about 40,000 units, maybe a little bit more than that we've sold worldwide. And it has done really, really great. Now we've added a handle off to the side, and we've added a place for the company's name to be printed across it. A couple other little things to it from what you see right here, but for the most part, the working internal design is exactly the same as what I showed you, and it has done a great job making a lot of money for me. And all I had to do is use a 3D printer and a free CAD design software from the internet called Tinker CAD. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed.